F-35s coming off the factory lines suddenly have a major problem, as the Pentagon just confirmed that they're arriving without any radars. Plus, the B-21 timeline just got moved up again, but don't expect to see it later this weekend, and US and Japanese fighter jets just intercepted a massive joint Chinese and Russian bomber patrol. From Thomas Mott, this is MachSquawk. Well, sometimes in military aviation, a story drops that is just too ridiculous to actually be true, and yet in the case right now with the F-35 radar problem, it's ridiculous, but also completely true. As the US military just confirmed that the 6 most recent F-35s they took delivery of from Lockheed Martin have arrived without any radars. As apparently, these 6 F-35s were in fact headed for the United States Marines, meaning they were likely the F-35 Bravo variant that famously can perform the jump jet role. However, as TWZ reported, quote, reports circulating already say that the aircraft in question are reportedly short takeoff and vertical landing capable F-35Bs, although that was not confirmed during the hearing. The Marines are the only US operator of the B variant, but they also fly carrier-based C models. And yet, whether or not these 6 F-35s were the B variant, the C variant, the A variant, according to the brand new report, it could be affecting all 3 variants very, very soon. At a hearing before members of the Senate Armed Service Committee earlier this week, a Marine Lieutenant General confirmed that 6 radar-less F-35s arrived from the factory with what you see here. They're called ballast in the nose, but look like Barbo weights you'd see at your local gym. That's all because of radar delays, not from Lockheed Martin, but instead Northrop Grumman. Also super quick, the winner of the 10,000 subscriber F-22 Raptor t-shirt you see on your screen is announced at the end of today's video, so drop a like, leave a hype, and stay to the end to see if you won. Now, the exact problem stems from the radar currently used on all 3 variants of the JSF, called the AN APG-81. And as TMZ explains, quote, this active electronically scanned array, or AESA type, with air-to-air or air-to-ground modes that traces its roots back to the 1990s. It also has a synthetic aperture radar, SAR mode, which allows it to produce high-resolution map-like images. These can be useful for target acquisition and identification, as well as general reconnaissance purposes. And these APG-81s, the original radars that came on the F-35 and are on every single active F-35 right now, were very good whenever they first came out, but recently China has reportedly upgraded the radars in a lot of their 5th generation fighters and has made these radars somewhat obsolete. And that means technically all current F-35s need a dramatic upgrade, which is actually part of a much broader but also much maligned Block 4 modernization program, which the Pentagon called a major modernization effort involving over 75 enhancements to improve the fighter's weapon capabilities, sensors, electronic warfare, and networking. But delays and budget costs now have skyrocketed. According to the NGAUS, back in 2025, the program was already $6 billion over budget and 5 years late. And so technically, the original Block 4 modernization plan would have the Lot 17 F-35s rolling off the assembly line with the brand new radars. But that was supposed to start last year, and obviously has not been the case. Although for what it's worth, the brand new radar in question causing all the fuss is the Northrop Grumman-built AN APJ-85, and it's supposed to be a dramatic improvement, with NG themselves describing it as, quote, an advanced multifunction sensor to defeat current and projected air and surface threats, and to improve the aircraft's battlespace situational awareness. Plus, these new radars also generate less heat, they seek further, they jam better, and they track more targets, all while technically operating nearly 50% more efficiently. Basically, for all intents and purposes, the APJ-85 is a major, major upgrade. And that obviously sounds great, but the APJ-85 has one major problem. It's a lot bigger than the current radars inside the F-35. And that means the APJ-85 cannot fit in the current nose cone of already built JSFs. So part of the Block 4 modernization upgrade would include a new mounting system to help fit the larger radars onto the older jets, which of course is naturally delayed. And that brings us back to the current situation. Older F-35 jets cannot go in and get the new upgrade yet that's been delayed, and brand new jets who have the actual proper mounting bracket and right size, well, they actually can't get a brand new radar. Every new F-35 coming up the line has a nose cone that can fit the APG-85, as the bulkhead was redesigned specifically for the upgrade. But once again, the 85 and the older 81s are so different that even if they wanted to just put the older radars in the new jets, they simply can't. As according to TWZ, quote, per official budget documents released earlier this year, the first production AN APG-85s are not expected to be delivered before April of 2028. To actually be a 9-month improvement on the much delayed delivery timeline for the new radars, the unit cost of which is currently pegged at nearly $9 million. So the United States military essentially has a problem. They have paid for plenty of brand new F-35s across all 3 branches. They could get them delivered right now without a radar in the nose, but fully functioning, or they can wait until at least 2028 and get a functioning radar along with a functioning jet. And it seems like they decided to go ahead and just take the jets. As technically, I didn't believe this at first, but an F-35 can perform and fly and execute missions without a radar. TWZ noted previously, quote, as long as one F-35 in a formation has a radar, all of the other aircraft in said group should be able to benefit from the data it provides via their multifunction advanced data links, or MADLs. And such, even without a radar installed, a Joint Strike Fighter would not be without F-35 derived radar data if it were at least one of others flying cooperatively with it within MALD's transmission reach. It is possible that radarless jets could be sent into combat, at least in an emergency scenario. Though doing so would still require accepting greater risks. So obviously it is possible. That's why the Air Force has taken... So obviously it is possible. That's why the Marines took delivery of the 6 F-35s, but it is way less than ideal. This is obviously a massive problem for Lockheed Martin, but apparently it's not going away anytime soon, as Air and Space Forces reported that the Air Force and Navy are also expected to receive radarless jets later this year as well. As a whole, the next 100 F-35s to roll off the assembly line could be without the radars because of this massive delay, meaning that any new jets for the United States Air Force, for the Marines, for the Navy, or any country outside paying for F-35s might not have radars as well, which is absolutely nuts and a massive story, but welcome to the world of defense contracting. And also welcome to the world of the F-35, because as most of you guys know, the polarization around the Joint Strike Fighter has always been less than ideal, and this, however, might be its worst news yet. Now, going from terrible aircraft production news in the F-35 to our next story, and perhaps the gold standard for on budget and on time, and the Air Force just announced this week it is further accelerating the delivery of the very first B-21 Raider. As according to Air Force Secretary Troy Mink in an exclusive interview with Air and Space Forces magazine, the first B-21 Raider bomber will bed down slightly ahead of the original schedule at Islesworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, but still in 2027, and the first plane to arrive there is already flying test missions at Edwards Air Force Base. As Mink confirmed that both of the 2 current test aircraft, again flying at Edwards in California, will be turned into operational aircraft in the near future before they move to Islesworth in 2027. Now, if you're wondering an exact date on when the first B-21 in 2027 will arrive, Mink did not go ahead and say that, but he did say it is way ahead of schedule, and that's been par for the course so far for the B-21. What we do know, however, is that whenever the Raider does arrive at Islesworth, it will be a ceremony of legend, as a brand new stealth aircraft showing up to a new base does not happen that often. In fact, I was on the flight line 23 years ago, that's me on the right, when the very first F-22 Raptor for Air Combat Command arrived at Nellis Air Force Base. Let me just say, back then, 23 years ago, it was quite the spectacle. I expect the B-21 arrival to be even greater. Now, when the B-21 was first rolled out in December of 2022, the Air Force and manufacturer Northrop Grumman touted the first plane as a production representative, meaning its stealth coating, mission systems, and other components were virtually identical to the final model. The Air Force decided early that the first test B-21 would be a production representative rather than an experimental aircraft. Northrop officials saying in 2022 that opting for the production representative plane was more complicated up front, but would accelerate testing. And that technically is exactly what's happened, as the Raider has remained ahead of schedule since the official reveal, which is crazy. It's set to become America's first new bomber in more than 3 decades, and technically its first official 6th-generation aircraft. And as it stands, the Air Force is currently building brand new facilities at Islesworth in South Dakota. However, there's a brand new report also saying they're going to begin building new facilities at both Dice Air Force Base in Texas and also Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, where the B-2s are being held. And so the 3 main bases for the B-21 are starting to get the stuff to receive them. 2027 cannot come soon enough. But I should point out that Secretary Mink did throw 1 bucket of cold water onto the Raider, as despite this tweet from Northrop Grumman last week, which read, "Some things stay off the radar. America's 250th isn't one of them," while also showing an actual silhouette of the B-21. The Air Force Secretary said the B-21 will not take part in the America 250 flyovers over the National Mall, saying, quote, No, the program is going really, really well, but the planes are out at Edwards and we just started doing refueling, so you get a B-21 here for the 4th, it's not going to happen. And that honestly makes a lot of sense. They are just starting to do air refueling, and getting one from one side of the country to the other without air refueling is basically impossible. And so, unless he's lying and he wants to just surprise everybody on July 4th, all the rumors of B-21 flying over the National Mall on this coming weekend, July 4th, apparently is not going to happen. Now, last but not least, and our final story is Air Force F-35s and Japanese F-15Js intercepting a massive, and I mean massive, Russia and Chinese bomber patrol over the East China Sea this past weekend. As videos released on your screen right here, but the Chinese military show YY-20A refueling aircraft along with a KJ-500 airborne early warning and control aircraft and a Y-9Z Signet aircraft along with J-11s and J-10Cs. With the Russian aircraft including an H-6K, the Tu-95 strategic bombers, refueling tanker, and multiple Su-30s and Su-35s. And according to the South Korean Joint Chiefs, quote, they detected the Russo-Chinese formation before it briefly entered and left Seoul's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ, by the country's eastern and southern waters. According to the Korean Times, the JCS put the figure at 10 aircraft and added that it, quote, dispatched Air Force fighter jets to prepare for any possible contingencies. And while yes, 15 plus aircraft encroaching into your airspace is a very big number, according to Japan and Korea, this is nothing new, with both Russia and China apparently holding joint strategic patrols since 2019. And these drills take place no more than twice each year. And it's likely this is the 11th such patrol in response to the ongoing Exercise Valiant Shield in the Western Pacific by the US, Japan, Australia, and the Philippines. Usually, when it comes to airspace encroachment, though, the ones that actually make the news here in America are the Russian bombers over Alaska. They get intercepted by the Alaskan F-22s or F-35s. This, however, was a much different intercept. You saw a lot of joint planes there from China and Russia, a lot of cool pictures, and thankfully, it wasn't a big deal. Hence why 2 American F-35s based out of Japan were scrambled, along with the 2 Japanese F-15s in the photos you see are on your screen. Now, of course, plenty more videos upcoming the next couple of days and weeks here on MachSquawk. We just hit 10,000 subscribers in less than a month and a half. Cannot thank you guys enough. We are growing at a very rapid pace. If you like the videos, drop a like, leave a hype, comment down below, be sure to subscribe. However, as promised, one US-based watcher was going to win an F-22 Raptor t-shirt at the end of today's video, and he was a commenter and a subscriber on my last video, and that person was randomly selected, Ben Hart 1209. Ben, you have won. Go below my description box, send me an email, machsquawk@gmail.com. Send me your address. I'll get it shipped out along with the size and the color. Congratulations, you won. We'll do plenty more giveaways, obviously happening in the future, but I just want to give back because you guys made this channel absolutely incredible. So Ben, congrats. Everybody else, stay tuned for the next video. Maybe there will be another giveaway. Until I'm Mott, though, this has been MachSquawk.